this was foolish, but I really meant it, that someday I'd like to maybe lose everything for a period of time to see who's loyal and who's not loyal. And frankly, I found out...
Did you find out who's loyal and not loyal?
I tell you what, and you can't guess it. You can't predict it. You think certain people would be loyal no matter what. And it turns out that they're not.
And I cannot now in good conscience object to the certification.
All I can say is count me out. Enough is enough.
I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter.
All individuals must leave the U.S. Capitol grounds or be subject to arrest.
Welcome to your Patriot Man Cave, guys. How many answers did you guys know to those questions? I knew pretty much all of them. So I want to say grand risings to every one of you. I want to say hello to Rumble. I want to say hello to YouTube and hello to Facebook. So I hope you guys are all having a great start to your day. I got a lot of stuff in for you. First thing I'm going to do is since we brought up the QAnon, this is a funny one. Here you go.
Sources tell ABC News there's been a strong reaction to the raid on extremist and QAnon-related forums.
Sources say there's been a strong reaction to the raid on extremist and QAnon-related forums.
Sources also telling ABC News there's been a strong reaction from some extreme groups online, including QAnon and other groups.
There's been a strong reaction to the raid on extremist and QAnon-related forums,
including those that were active before January 6th.
Including those that were active prior to January 6th.
Including those that were active prior to January 6th.
Involved in the January 6th insurrection,
including those that were
active prior to the January 6th riot.
Some have been calling for violence and even a civil war.
Some of them include calls for violence and even a civil war.
Some of them include
calls for violence in online forums
and even civil war.
This was the top comment on the search on the pro-Trump site The Donald last night. Quote, lock and load with references to a civil war.
Talking very violently about civil war.
Searches for civil war spiked.
They're talking about civil war.
Civil war. Civil war.
Civil war. Civil war. Civil war.
This is the kind of violence that led to the January 6th attack.
I'm just going to say it, guys. That is your news in a nutshell that people are watching all around you. Calls for civil war, civil war, civil war. Well, I'll tell you right now, we got calls to stand up. I haven't seen the Civil War thing. So if you're new to the show, my name's Donnie. You're in the Patriot Man Cave. I want to say good morning to everybody on Rumble. Good morning to everybody on YouTube. So it looks like we're starting to fire off. Everybody's going every which way. So good morning, Susie Q, Doug, Sherry, Angel. Lee's ought to be in here soon, I would imagine. Oh, there she is. So everybody doing their thing this morning. I want to say I hope you guys have found some stuff, because wait till you see the stuff I got for you this morning. Okay, so we're just going to roll right into this, and we're going to talk about the papers and the Biden house. And I think we're going to go with Tucker first.
Did you catch that interview with Tucker? Watch this.
But it does make you wonder what exactly was happening from 2016 to 2018 that Joe Biden might want to hide. Fair question, but no one in the media seems interested in finding the answer. We do know that during that same period, 2016 to 2018, there was a lot of weird accounting going on at Joe Biden's house in Delaware, the same house where yet another cache of classified documents was just found, yet another. In 2018, Hunter Biden was looking to rent property in California. Now, on a background check form as part of his rental application, Hunter Biden claimed that, in fact, he owned the Delaware house that Joe Biden, his dad, says that he owned. So they're both claiming to own the same house. Hunter Biden then also listed the address of that house as his primary residence on his driver's license, an official government document. Now, this is the very same home where Joe Biden has spent a third of his presidency, in addition to his beach house in Rehoboth, without maintaining any visitor logs. Now, this is worth knowing. Now, we don't know this because the New York Times or ABC News dispatched one of its crack reporters who found it. No. We know it because an anonymous Twitter account called @JJTalking found this background check form on Hunter Biden's laptop. Miranda Devine of the New York Post has also done extensive reporting on it. And the document raises quite a few questions, not all of which we can answer, by the way. But the obvious ones include, did Hunter Biden actually buy his father's home in Delaware? Was he making rent payments to live there? Does that amount that he was paying refer to another property? It was a big amount. On the form, Hunter Biden claims he's paying nearly $50,000 a month in housing costs. $50,000 a month. Where'd that money come from? You wouldn't think Hunter Biden would be able to earn that kind of money. Now, at the time, this was pre-laptop, but Hunter Biden had already been thrown out of the U.S. Navy for cocaine use. He'd already abandoned a rental car with a crack pipe inside, along with his ID. He had already left his wife for his sister-in-law. Now, all of this was public information. So how did a disgraced drug addict with no job skills make enough money to make a $50,000 a month payment? Who was paying him? How much were they paying him? And why were they paying him? And by the way, why do classified documents keep appearing in homes that Hunter Biden lived in? Those seem like fair questions. We have a right to ask them. Joe Biden doesn't feel like answering them. Watch.
Mr. President, Are you sure there are no more classified documents?
So here's the deal, guys. We're going to talk about this right here. Hunter Biden's $49,910 rent exactly matches deposits on offices shared with Chinese energy company. So Hunter's house is being directly paid for by the Chinese company. It said Hunter Biden's monthly rent of $49,910. That's monthly, guys. There are people that don't make that a year. Let's just get that out there right now. But straight up, it says Hunter Biden's monthly rent was $49,910, matches the rent deposit at the House of Sweden related to the Biden family business venture with the infamous CEFC Chinese energy company. Hunter's $49,910 deposit also matches the amount of money he logged on a 2018 background check document unearthed by the New York Post Miranda Devine. Says in October 13, 2017, Cecilia Browning, the general manager of the House of Sweden, an office complex in Washington, D.C., emailed Hunter about the lease that Hunter and his Chinese business partners were trying to terminate. According to emails unearthed from Hunter's laptop from hell, Browning notes that the amount of deposit was $49,910 for the office space and that would be returned to Hunter upon signing a lease termination document. If you are willing to terminate the lease of 507, the owners are willing to let you out of the lease on December 30th, 2017. Browning emailed Hunter. Please note that there is a security deposit paid by you for $49,910, which will be returned within 15 days after the termination of this lease. After inspection of normal wear and tear, Hunter had apparently requested the termination of the lease after his deal with CFC, Chinese Energy, fell apart. The Biden family previously negotiated a deal with CFC whereby Joe Biden, the big guy, would receive a 10% equity stake in the joint venture, whistleblower Tony Bobulinski stated. So I do have good news. I spoke with the head office, and they're willing to let you out of the lease on December 31st this year. Browning emailed Hunter later. Just wanted to make sure that you would receive my email and also asked you to confirm so that we can prepare for your lease termination documents. Hunter appeared not to respond. Browning sent a third email to Hunter on December 14th requesting confirmation of the lease. Hunter, we haven't seen you for a while in the building, and I wanted to make sure that you received by emails or my emails below. As you can see, I now have approval to terminate your lease as per our discussion in October without any penalty, either December 31st, 2017 or January 31st, 2018. Whatever is more convenient for you, please confirm so that we can start preparing your lease termination documents. So, I mean, think about this, guys. This is a lot. Hunter's assistant Katie Dodge finally responded on January 22nd, 2018 to Browning. Dodge said Hunter did not want to terminate the lease. But a few days later, Dodge emailed Browning on January 30th and confirmed Hunter would like to terminate the lease. I will. I won't. I will. I won't. Says your standard crackhead, Hunter. Anyway, yes, we are confirming that Hunter would like to terminate the lease and exit the unit as of February 28th, and the security deposit will cover the remaining rent less. We will pay you a few thousand more for any damage. You can let me know what the amount will be. Hunter's $49,910 deposit matches the amount he logged in a 2018 background check documented unearthed by Post Miranda Devine. Hunter claimed on this form that he paid $49,000, basically $50,000 a month from March 2017 to February 2018. The document was signed in July 2018. The lease dates on the email chain between Hunter and the House of Sweden have not been delineated. The background check also noted that Hunter's residence was Joe Biden's home in Wilmington, Delaware, where the president kept classified documents alongside his Corvette in the garage. The form additionally reveals Hunter checked a box showing he was an owner of the current residence. It's not clear why Hunter noted he owned a location where he paid rent or why he listed his current address as Joe Biden's resident with rent payments. In 2018, Biden claimed he owned the house where Joe Biden kept classified documents alongside his Corvette in his garage via @JJ Talking Pic Twitter. So if you guys want to check that out, maybe I can click on it. Let's see what happens. All right, hold on a sec. There we go. All right, let me go back into the group here. Hold on. I'll show you what they're talking about. If it loads. Oh, 1 second. Of course, that's how it works, guys. But that's all right. I got you. I just had to eliminate something I already had on screen for you guys. So here you go. So this is what they're talking about. This is actually the document that right here, the background screening check. So it's got all his info right here. Hunter Biden. Look at this. Robert Hunter Biden. And there it is, 49,910. All right, I'll go back into this. Finish this off. It says the form additionally reveals Hunter checked the box showing he was an owner of a current residence. It's not clear why he did this or why he listed Joe Biden's residence with rent payments. All right, the 49,910 rent amount far exceeds the money recorded on Biden's taxes. Joe Biden 2017 return on Schedule E only listed $19,800 in rent received. In 2018, Biden listed no rent received. So I have a feeling the unraveling, it is coming, guys, and it's coming bad. So let me show you what else I got to actually go with this. You know, it all fell into place this morning. And so I want to make sure. Let's talk about this one first.
Biden has done one of the biggest political gaffes in U.S. history. I believe what the deep state was doing, meaning the Obama-Biden people, they framed Trump with the whole Mar-a-Lago nonsense. And then Biden just completely just stepped in all of this. And now they don't really know what to do. They don't have a good plan.
They would certainly use it. Now it appears they would use it as an opportunity.
And look, right now, remember, you have the American people who largely have been blinded. They don't even know this happened. They've tried to suppress it. They try to downplay it. But I mean, look, the hypocrisy here is just, I think, overwhelming. And the crimes that have been committed here are overwhelming. And so I just don't see how he can run again.
Okay, this is your screen record moment. Oh, Lisa, you in jail from Facebook? Yeah, they're bastards. That's why I'm somebody else on there, because they didn't like my first account. And that was the drop in the Rabbi Finkelstein thing about the human meat in McDonald's burgers and stuff. So that they had found human remains in 6 different McDonald's storage facilities. So now I don't have it on, but I just happened to be watching a deal with Kathy yesterday. And they were talking about vegans. Are you vegan? Now, you know those people that come at you that say, hey, man, I'm vegan. I'm vegan. I'm vegan. This is just a little side shoot I'm talking about right now. But what I thought was funny is when they checked it, the guy said, hey, Siri, is there rat DNA in vegan burgers? Not only did she say there was rat DNA in vegan burgers, but she also said there was cow DNA, which means they're eating meat, and there was human DNA in the vegan burgers. So before you go screaming I'm vegan, you better really look into the back on this stuff. And I mean, you could probably look at it just with a microscope and find out for yourself. So, all right, I'm going to move on because this is your screen record moment. Make sure you guys have this. I'll play it twice so that you're on your game. But Biden's not running shit. Obama is. And I think this call pretty much will confirm it for you. This is your big boom of the day.
Hey, pal, it's Dad. Look, I don't think they're going to get off my ass about these documents, and I know that there's at least, I want to say, 5 more places that I can remember that they are. Listen, use the red cell phone, call up Barack and Michelle, tell them Operation Crash and Burn is a go.
One more time.
Hey, pal, it's Dad. Look, I don't think they're going to get off my ass about these documents, and I know that there's at least, I want to say, 5 more places that I can remember that they are. Listen, use the red cell phone. Call up Barack and Michelle. Tell them Operation Crash and Burn is a go.
Isn't that what your country looks like right now? A crash and burn? So I don't know what that's about, but I just found it. So we're going to keep our eyes on it because that would sure stand. It goes with what you're seeing. Tell Michelle and Barack Operation Crash and Burn is a go. And then you look at our country, and that's exactly what it fucking is. Crash and burn. All right, I got one more, and here's a doozy boom, baby.
Good morning, and we found out overnight the president's personal attorneys know how to get the FBI to back off, because we found out a couple days ago the White House's lawyer was accompanied by somebody from the DOJ when he went to Wilmington. But the new detail is that they were not also joined by agents from the FBI in windbreakers. The Wall Street Journal is reporting this. They say the Justice Department considered having FBI agents monitor a search by President Biden's lawyers for classified documents at his homes, but decided against it, both to avoid complicating later stages of the investigation and because Mr. Biden's attorneys had quickly turned over a first batch and were cooperating. Jonathan Turley adds this.
Now, when I said that the FBI didn't do a thing, I was talking about doing something in terms of actual searches and securing these documents. The fact is that when it came to searching for the documents, they continued to say, no, use your private counsel, uncleared, unknown persons. They were doing the interviews. They were eventually assigning a U.S. attorney to look at this. But the documents themselves, the search for those documents, remained in private counsel's hands. And that works to the advantage of the president.
There is also a new inconsistency in the White House's story. We've long been told he spends so much time in Wilmington because he's working, even hosting these lawmakers for lunch there, Chuck Schumer and Joe Manchin. Now the story has changed as White House officials say the residence is strictly personal, and that's why there are no visitor logs. The story also sounds like it's changing at the White House, but the press secretary disputes that.
On Friday, did you or did you not know about the additional 5?
I literally just answered that question.
But I missed it, so is it yes or no?
Well, I mean, you're not too far sitting next to her. You guys can ask me this 100 times, 200 times if you wish. I'm going to keep saying the same thing. I hear your question. It's been asked. It's been answered. It's been noted.
And they keep telling us that for the details, the specific details about any of this, we need to check with the special counsel or check with the president's personal attorneys. Yesterday in the briefing room, they did have Steph Curry from the Warriors, but none of the president's lawyers. Back to you.
Hey, Peter, do you think that we know what prompted the November 2nd trip to the closet at the Biden Center? What prompted that November 2nd? Do we know? Did I miss this?
We don't know, and if it was because somebody thought there might be classified information in there, it's unclear why they would be sending somebody without a updated security clearance.
Right, and the University of Pennsylvania never said, we need you out of here, Joe, right? They did not push him out, correct?
Well, they were shutting down the office, and they were moving that stuff somewhere. But again, when you're moving stuff, I just moved. I didn't open up every box of paper and look at each one to see what it was. You just move it, and then I'll deal with it probably the next time that I move.
Peter, let's get in the Wayback Machine for a minute. When you traveled up from Washington to Delaware to cover Joe Biden announcing that he was going to run for president, they didn't tell you where it was going to be. So you actually were the only reporter who showed up at this house in Wilmington, where apparently a bunch of the secrets were. And how I know your picture from your iPhone is on FoxNews.com.
There it is.
There it is right there, wide open, nobody in the guard gate. And so those documents clearly unprotected for who knows how long.
Well, and the reason that photo is relevant now is because now that he's the president, that street has checkpoints. There are Secret Service officers parked in the driveway. There's a new gate. There are people in the little guard shack. But during the time after he left the vice president's office and when he got Secret Service protection again in March of 2020, there was no Secret Service protection. And so a lot of folks on Capitol Hill are asking for Secret Service visitor logs. Whether or not they're going to be able to piece that together retroactively, we don't know. But there was no Secret Service there for years. And so they can ask, but the Secret Service has a credible excuse. Our folks had moved on.
But I was just going to say, Peter, when you go to some sort of an event or a home or the White House, isn't the Secret Service the one who said, let me see if you're on the list? There's always a list.
Yeah, and usually you have to send in your name a day in advance so that they can run your date of birth, your social security number, make sure that you are not some sort of a fugitive elsewhere who should not be around the president.
Peter, any answers to why they waited 2 months to tell us about this? I mean, we should have known about this before the election when they found the classified documents.
We don't know anything about that except that the press secretary here, Karine Jean-Pierre, says she was not involved in the decision to wait, and she said at the podium yesterday for the first time that she just learned about this when she was getting calls last week from the reporters who at CBS who had this information.
And there could be more, right?
Yeah, there could be more.
Okay.
All right.
Stay tuned.
Thanks. The thing is, too, if you think about what the decision went in to not have FBI agents go to these houses, his compounds, and his offices, it makes no sense. Well, they were being transparent and they were telling us everything, so we didn't see any reason to have a hostile relationship. They waited 6 years. They discovered November 2nd. They discovered more on the 14th. They discovered more on December 20th. They discovered more on January 5th. That, to me, is not being transparent. To me, right away, listen, for 6 years, this stuff has been missing. Right there with FBI agents. And as they little by little form more and more documents as late as Saturday, maybe even today, you would want an FBI agent there right away. Number one, with clearance. Number two is, why take the risk?
Right.
Joe Biden's personal attorney has this. Maybe it makes Joe Biden look bad. And if it makes Joe Biden look bad when that nobody's around in a windbreaker, that person maybe keeps it or puts it in a place that won't be discovered.
I think for a lot of the American public, and I heard someone talking about this on Fox News, that I think it's something that we could all forgive the presidents because it seems like they all are taking classified documents with them. Just give them back to the archives. Right. This is our highly classified information, our country's secret.
Oh, yeah. No. We all should just forgive because presidents do this. No. You raided Donald Trump's house. They went to Donald Trump's house. They raided his house. If they'd have found anything, they would have hung him. They would have hung him. They would have impeached him, hung him, made it to where he could never, ever get in office again. He'd never be able to hold a public office again. So, yeah, we're not going to forgive. We're not going to forget. Why? Because they keep popping up. And because of Hunter, any crackhead in that state could have these. Your government papers could be at any crack house due to Hunter. It's that fucking simple, guys. Okay, I'm going to bring this into screen because it's about time. Boom, baby. All right, so here's your exclusive this morning. Breaking, the U.S. Supreme Court accepted the Roland Brunson case. The Supreme Court accepted the case. So Supreme Court accepted the Brunson case. What do they do with yours? I can't seem to find the original source. So it says alert. Robert Thomas either lied or wrong. Gave him Supreme Court. God knows. Let me see what we got here. So there's some kind of blackmail going on too. It says a lawyer who emailed me, who was involved in some way with the Roland Brunson case in the U.S. Supreme Court, and he had informed me that he had heard the Supremes accepted the Brunson case. So this lawyer had informed me that the Roland Brunson case had been accepted at the conference today in the U.S. Supreme Court. Bill Hill also sent letters to the Supreme Court in support of the Brunson case. Here's an email documenting that without the identity. Sorry for the tardy response. So there you go, guys. We're going to keep our eyes on that, but I figured you needed to know. And I'll roll on. Okay, so here's what we're going to show you now. Remember when everybody's being put on ventilators? They're still trying to do it as we speak. Well, I want you to hear the UK protocol when they were putting them on ventilators, and then think about how many people in this country have died. And could they have maybe been doing this exact thing to the people in our country, to the people in rest homes, specifically to the New York rest homes, where the governor just threw positive COVID patients all over there? Did this happen at your local hospitals and rest homes?
You know, I was a carer during all the whole pandemic. And, you know, the one thing I couldn't wrap my head around when I woke up was, how did I see so many people dying? Because it was happening right in front of us. And it turns out they were murdering them under our fucking noses. A little while ago, I had a conversation with someone I used to work with. And I asked him the same question. I said, you know, I've learned a lot over the past few years, and I've come to realise what's really going on. But what I can't understand is how they were, like, you know, we literally see people dying. Help me understand that. And he turned around and said to me, they was putting them on the end-of-life medication. And I was just like, what? Like, I know they give end-of-life medication to people that are dying, but so you're telling me that anyone that had vid, they was just putting straight on end-of-life medication? And he said, yeah. And I'm uploading a video right this second that pretty much says that. And I feel sick just remembering those people's faces and the people that we looked after. And we thought, I mean, back then I was so asleep and I believed it. And it's just done me. It's done my head in. It's done my brain. And I don't even know how to, I can't. And this person that I was talking to was a nurse. Obviously the people that hand out the medication, because as you guys know that do care, we don't hand out the medication. The nurses do that in the home. It's done my head in. And seeing a video that also said it, oh, please, I can't. This is just horrendous.
So they were giving them end-of-life medications, the people that were going on ventilators. Was that happening in the United States? I would venture to say it probably was, for the simple fact it's a system of things. I tell you guys constantly, there's a system all to it. Now, I'm going to show you a few clips. I'm sure I've showed one of them before. But the way it's rolling out, you have to understand what's really going on. So let's go with this first clip, and then I got a second clip to follow.
I think that it's really a fulfillment of a dream that we had together with my leadership team when we started in 19. The first week we met in January of 19 in California, and to set up the goals for the next 5 years. And one of them was by 2023, we will reduce the number of people in the world by 50%. I think today this dream is becoming reality.
By 50%. I'm going to play that one more time. They're going to reduce. They had a meeting. All these fucking people who have nothing to do with you or me. All these elites who sit around and make calls and do things and say what your family should do, what you should do, what your country should do. Because they literally think they're on a God level and that you are their minions. So they had planned to reduce the world population by 2023. I'm just going to ask. I'm going to throw it on out. What fucking year is it? Isn't it 2023? I'm going to play the clip one more time. Lisa, what clip is that you wanted, hon? I get going in the show, and so I get past everything. I need to know exactly which one. But here you go. 50%. They are saying in your face, we're going to reduce the population by 50%. And before I play this clip, I'm going to ask one time, how are they going to do it? What could they do to the whole world that would facilitate what he's saying? What could they do? Just answer that question. What could they do to you and yours, to your town, to your city, to your state, to your country? What could they do to all countries that would facilitate this happening for us? And we're very happy to say we're getting there.
I think that it's really a fulfillment of a dream that we had together with my leadership team when we started in 19. The first week we met in January of 19 in California and to set up the goals for the next 5 years. And one of them was by 2023, we will reduce the number of people in the world by 50%. I think today this dream is becoming reality.
So it's really a purpose-driven company. And
at the end, he says it's a purpose-driven company. Lisa, I actually found that online, hon, and I exited out of the clip. So I'll have to go back and find it and try and find it for you again. I'll send it out to you. I just can't do it right this second. Okay, but let me roll on. So he's saying straight up, 50% of the people got to go. And we're well on our way to doing this by 2023. Well, it's 2023, people. So if these people are do what they say, people, then it's being enacted as we speak. And then they sit around and they openly laugh about killing human beings, killing part of the population off. Openly.
WAF notice the other guy laughing about depopulation agenda. He gives, it's not like this guy that's saying who wants depopulation and he's laughing about it is alone or something. In this interview of themselves, he's saying there was a sense of relief in the room. Everyone was like, oh, I'm so glad he's just openly saying it. I'm so sick of not openly saying it. That's what he says to him. That's why I have to back this up. I have to back this up because notice he says that the entire room felt relieved. And now that you heard what he was saying, relieved that he just openly said he wants to mass murder a whole bunch of people.
Because religions want more souls and the WEF wants less on the planet.
So in the session we just attended here at the Economic Forum, I think there was a sense of relief, actually, in your frankness. You brought up some issues that others are reluctant to bring up.
Always. All the religious groups are against me because I'm talking about population. They want more souls. I want less on the planet.
Why is wanting less souls on the planet funny?
Yeah. Ask yourself that. Why is wanting less people on this planet funny to them? Because that's what they're doing. They're fucking laughing at us behind the scenes. Well, they make plans and talk about their future. You're not in it. All right, I'm going to roll up. That stuff just gets me pissed. Okay, so I'm going to show a few things. I want to tell you guys what happened. Yesterday after the show, we had some people, or we had one person who come on and started attacking me about the Q thing and just instantly attacked. Didn't want to have a cordial conversation. Just wanted to attack me, asking me how much money I made. Now, you guys have been with me a long time. How much money do I make doing this? I do this for free. I get up every day at 3:30 in the fucking morning to do this for free, to have somebody come on and start hassling me over what I'm sharing for you guys. Now, like I told her, if you don't like it, get off the channel. If you don't like it, leave the group. And her response to me was ban me. So, okay, you got your wish. And I'm just going to tell you this. If you come on any of our groups or any of our channels and you instantly come on attacking people instead of wanting to have a conversation, bye-bye, you go. We just have no time for that negativity. And we have no time for our patriots attacking other patriots who are just trying to get the word out. And it made me instantly feel like I was being hit by a bot. But one thing I noticed, because I ran to that person's page. If you're going to call me out, I'm going to look at it. So I ran to that person's page, and you know the first thing I saw was that Ashley Babbitt bullshit that we destroyed when it first happened. So guess what? So we're going to step back into that just for that person. So let's talk about a few things about the J6. Ashley Babbitt.
How you doing, man? Good. Stay safe, all right? Man, you are covered. I thought I was bad. You got it way worse. Hey, do you need water or something, man?
Okay, so did it look like any urgency? She was walking up, talking to him. There was no running, all this craziness, jump up. That was the setup to the setup. So I would just say to you, if you fell for the Ashley Babbitt thing, you fell for the biggest psyop that's out there. And you got played in every way. So here we go.
Secret commandos with shoot to kill authority were at the Capitol. You might remember on the 6th of January last year, a group of people who fashioned themselves operators took over this building in D.C. It was on the news, you know. During the coup attempt, I live tweeted. I tried to provide context and explain the possibilities of what might happen next. Reports came in about some pretty specific helicopters being used that are really only used by one group of people. So I talked about the likelihood of some of America's most elite forces being used to retake that building. You know, because it's illegal. You're not supposed to use active duty military against American citizens. And I talked about how people could be transferred to the National Guard, put on National Guard patches, retake the building, take those patches off, disappear, and say the National Guard did it. That was described at the time as the most terrifying sentence I'd ever written. The reality is I was wrong about that. They weren't seconded to the National Guard. They were seconded to the Department of Justice. The reporting coming out of Newsweek, the presence of these extraordinary forces under the control of the Attorney General and mostly operating under contingency plans that Congress and the U.S. Capitol Police were not privy to added an additional layer of highly armed responders, military operators seconded to the FBI, and those on alert as part of the National Mission Force were present. National Mission Force in and of itself, those are heavy hitters. That's the FBI's hostage rescue team as well as their Render Safe people. The Render Safe teams, those are people responsible for dealing with the worst scenarios imaginable. Chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear. These are not people who are playful. This is loosely confirming that military operators were on scene. There's probably questions about why didn't they? These aren't people for crowd control. They can be bad for your health. They clear a building, the people are still inside the building when they're done. They're just laying down. The important element here is for people to understand that in emergencies like this, laws become very gray. A whole bunch of people suggested that they wouldn't get involved because they supported Trump. It's not how it works. The most elite units of this country's military would not stand idly by while somebody attempts a coup. A whole bunch of people who fashioned themselves operators were very close to seeing operators in real life. And had that option been exercised, would have been the last thing they saw. I don't know exactly what the line was to have released this particular group of people. My guess would be if the inner doors were breached. Had that happened, this would have been an entirely different scenario because
they tried to make that scenario happen, actually, and they were there. It just didn't happen the way they wanted it to. Hence the reason Nancy Pelosi was filming and everything. But bottom line, when you have video of the Capitol Police giving the rioters passes, you get to call bullshit on the whole fucking story. Oh, let me roll this clip one more time. But before I do, notice they're not going through the metal detectors. They're giving them passes as they go around them. What's going on there? So, I mean, come on, guys. They were literally walking. They were letting them walk around the metal detectors. Why? Because those fuckers would have set it off like crazy. Because I'm sure they had all kinds of bullshit with them so that they could create havoc and cause problems. I mean, it is so obvious what they're fucking doing and what they've been doing. I got one more video for it on there. I have to find it real quick. I'm going to run this for you while I do.
That's quite a percentage. It gets even better. Many of the individuals involved in this plot have been associated with the very same militia group that the government has attempted to associate with 1-6. And if that isn't enough, I'll give you the cherry on top.
Hello, I'm Stephen D'Antuono.
The head of the Detroit field office of the FBI, who presumably oversaw all of those agents who would have been actively involved in inciting the Michigan kidnapping plot. Subsequent to that, he was quietly and suspiciously promoted to a high position within the DC field office, where he now oversees the investigation into 1-6.
Most Americans probably assume the chaos of January 6th was a result of intelligence failures or of simple government incompetence. But direct incitement by federal agents, the intentional entrapment of American citizens, no decent person wants to believe that. But increasingly there's evidence it is true. It makes you wonder, if permanent Washington is willing to launch a second war on terror on its own citizens, what else are they capable of?
So let's destroy that, shall we? Today's the day, guys. Today's the day you get to see the bullshit that happened in DC. You get to see the fakery, the fuckery, and you get to see the psyop that played all of you who have had Ashley Babbitt on your page. Oh, I stand with Ashley Babbitt. She's a hero, this, that, and the other thing. She's sitting at home. We showed video. I actually showed video of her in the background at one of Trump's rallies. They made sure and focused in on her too. But here we go.
There's some protests happening down outside the Capitol.
The simulated riots in D.C. was a powder keg long in the making. The evidence for pre-planning and setting up a situation for a disaster is overwhelming. Paid actors.
We can take that place. We got more people coming up. Let's get them down here on the track.
I want to confess that I was paid to pretend to protest today.
Hey, I'm gonna break this phone and they hit me with bullets. In that office, man.
Controllers.
They were guys, they were almost like monitors. They were like corralling them. They were telling them what to do, and they did everything these guys said. Walk down into a room underneath the people.
Take a step back. Get out.
And Hollywood tear gas and mace. All on display for hundreds of professional photographers conveniently on scene. In this episode, we're going to analyze the climax of the story and show you how a little stage direction and fake blood became an instrumental role in furthering the division of the nation.
And he was hiding there. She had no idea that he was even sitting there aiming a gun right at her face.
It's not talk anymore!
I didn't see it, but that's not what it is. Acting.
This is Everything Wrong with the Capitol Shooting.
I'm convinced with the energy market that from what I saw. You guys gonna come in the building?
Only on Woo's News. The The Homeland Security Exercise and Evaluation Program provides a set of guiding principles for large emergency response drills. In these guidelines, we read about the various roles such as players, controllers, simulators, evaluators, actors, observers. The term participant encompasses many groups of people, not just those playing in the exercise. The head directors of large emergency drills are called exercise controllers. Their job is to keep things running according to the master plan. And here's a cover of the guidelines manual, which spells sheep. HASEEP. Any professional emergency response drill or military drill makes use of fake blood in a variety of forms. Blood capsules, sponges, syringes, and squibs. A simple blood squib is a pouch that is designed to break on impact. There are all kinds of squibs using various pumps and tube assembly. Here's the HydroSim trauma bleeding simulation system. It's basically a small pack containing a fake blood supply and a pumping mechanism and some tubes. Some of them are battery operated. Now that we're equipped with the various roles, let's start the analysis. Aquí, outside the speaker's lobby. As a footnote, I am not affiliated with any gang. And I wasn't paid to make this video, so I'm looking at this completely unbiased. We've also added a time code to Jaden X's footage, which we'll call Angle 1. And let's review the scene with minimal volume. You'll notice how much chaos is happening on screen, yet our eyes are fixed to the woman because that's what we're here to see. No one seems to be concerned with being the next target. It's bang, action. It should be noted that everyone in the room knows what's going to happen. They all play towards the camera. Now, let's take a look at some of our characters. Adam Gray, our photographer. Taylor Hanson, Vetter. Rufio, Fredo, Yellow, Data, Jaden, Thomas Barani, Ninja/Evaluator, Secret Agent Man, or as I like to call him, Sam, Medic/Controller, Parrot Blocker, Shades, Red, SWAT 1, and SWAT 2, Frickin' Frack, and our star, Rabbit. We're going to break this down together, and we're going to analyze this with 6 different angles, and in chronological order. Let's do this. Now this is Medic coming into the room. Notice the enormous earpiece. What's that about? Now look what Red does. He kicks the door. Now we see Red either pick up something or drop something, and it looks like Medic does the same. And we know he's the Medic because of this patch or sticker. Here we can see Red has one glove on, and you can see Jaden in the distance. Now we're all kind of led into this room outside the speaker's lobby. We can see Medic has one glove on as well. There's Frick. Oh, hey there. And there's our star. They're just waiting around again. And you can see our star looking in the direction of the weapon. She seems amped up or nervous. And you can see we have Taylor Hanson on our left. Notice how Yellow hands Rufio the helmet. And notice while he does that, we can see Cop 2 and Fredo discussing. Almost like they're waiting for something.
Okay, we got police coming up.
Okay, we got police coming up. Now Frickin' Frack come down. Rufio takes off his hat, changing his appearance. He receives the signal, and they leave. And it all feels a little rehearsed. And you can see Adam Gray push his way through. Now this is Orange in the front. You should also note that the glass is not glass, but plastic, or stage glass. And you'll notice that this barricade was set up before they entered the room. You can see Barani in red to the left of the screen. In about 30 seconds, they're going to make their way to the front. Notice how our star keeps looking over to the left, as if she's waiting for something. As the officers leave, they're pretending to talk to each other. And you can see how easy this plastic comes out. You see how easy that is? Frack taps the back of Vetter. Jaden is the first one to give the command that there is a weapon at 34 minutes and 49 seconds. And you can hear others chanting the same thing. Notice that the gunman briefly removes his hand from the weapon, like he's communicating, replying to his earpiece. Look how long it takes him to do it. Notice this person just walking in the background. If we draw a straight line from where the weapon is to where our star is, you will see that they don't match up. The weapon is far below her neck area. And boom, right there. Now that's 15 seconds since Jaden announced there was a weapon. That's important. Now let's back it up 15 seconds. We can see this guy point to Orange. Orange gives a hand movement. And look, the Hollywood glass just falls right out. SWAT 1 goes to Sam. Now why would Blue ever be in on this conversation? Blue makes his way past Yellow, where he grabs him, and you can see Barani making a hand movement. And he touches Red on the back, and Barani signals her to get into place. And she goes through, and she's ready to fall. And they all scatter. Notice this guy in the background. No one looks in the direction of the gunman. Yellow gets into place, Now that's Rufio. Right when she goes up, he turns his back. It doesn't make sense that Rufio's corralled all these people into breaking down the doors only to step to the side and turn his back. In this angle, Rufio turns to take a peek, and he touches Red on the back, and Ninja automatically puts his hands up. Also, notice when she falls back, her backpack looks fairly plump. A perfect breakaway for a fall. And you'll see Yellow breaks her fall, boom, with his foot. And here you can see the plastic glass. Red gets out of the way. And interestingly enough, Ronnie moves down just to touch her right backpack area. Just for a brief moment. While Sam comes down, he moves her, 9 inches to his left. He's about to reach under her right shoulder. At the same time he does it, SWAT 1 briefly squeezes her right hand, or he's putting something in there. When Sam picks her up, she puts her hands in front of her face. It almost appears that she opens her eyes right there, and she just puts her hands down. Boom, she's set down, then her elbows go down. As Data and Orange move into place. Now Sam's gonna make a big hand movement. His left hand is still under her right shoulder. Trying to give her a back massage and shit. Who writes this? And look how she's laying. She's still got her right leg up. It's only been 11 seconds since the weapon went off. And here you can see her curl the side of her mouth up, while a drop of blood runs out from under her nose, which takes less than 16 frames. Here it is in real time. No blood. And there it is. And she has her hands like she's about to give a shadow puppet performance. It's just an interesting face to make. No suffering. It's like, boom, instant death. She's basically using that backpack as a pillow. All the while, look to Sam's right. There's Ninja. And Ninja's been there all along. And he comes down with him. And it almost looks like she has a smile on her face. It's almost like a Mona Lisa. And she's holding her right hand clenched like she has something in there. Now you have SWAT 1 coming in, playing a scene blocker. And notice how Rufio is just clamoring over SWAT 3, because there's quite a bit of photographers in that room. Now look, frickin' Frack. He grabs him in the back, and he puts his hands up. See how he just grabs him and he puts his hands up? They were friends earlier, remember? And look at Barani. Okay, guys, I'm just gonna pull out my phone. And notice how he looks at his hand. He's gonna do that a couple times. And there's a reason for that. So now SWAT 1's making his hand movements, you know, the big pointing. And now he's gonna put up his weapon. And he does this little dance with his knees. Okay, thank you. Thumbs up. Like he's pretending to talk to someone. And he's like, thumbs up. And now Data moves in. He clumsily takes his book bag off. Now here it gets really strange. With the exception of her nose, at this time code we see there's no blood on her. 3517. We're going to see her pop in right there. Nothing. 3521. But wait, boom. 3525. 4 frames. That's 4 seconds. And now it looks like she's devoured some small woodland creature. Don't you love how blood defies gravity? But how is that possible? Let's back it up 4 seconds. Now watch. Notice how Sam moves his left hand from her right backpack area, and he goes to grab her hand, like she's doing a peace sign. With her hand, dips it in. Look at that movement. Now you can see him move his hand across her face. But look, she moves her wrist into his hand first. It kind of looks like she's smearing blood on her face, or putting something in her mouth, but you can see the movement. And he swats her hand down. Then he forcefully turns her head to the right. It's hard to see if those are her fingers or if she's holding on to something. Now Sam gets up and all he's doing is just pointing. Look, well, I guess my work here is done. They're both pointing at the same time because it makes for good pictures. You've got the drama, you've got the pointing, and now this blood is just gushing out of her mouth. Don't make no sense. Do you hear that? Y'all murdered this person? It's only been 21 seconds since the weapon went off. Just grabbing him like, what are we gonna do? And notice he has a full beard. Do people in these positions normally have full beards? Maybe? Okay. He's also double masked. Ooh, such a secret. And they just keep pointing. Look. SWAT 1, SWAT 2. We can see that Yellow has changed his appearance as well. And so Data does these big gestures. She's still got her damn hands like she's playing a scarecrow or something. Now this guy coming in, he's a parrot blocker. And he's saying, move, move. Data just looks up. He's like, medic, scalpel. All the while Ninja's still back there, just monitoring everything. Data is just still fumbling through his bag, not looking for anything in particular. Everybody's just kind of moving around her.
An active shooter.
We have an active shooter. How original.
Get her down.
Get her down. She is down, bro. God, it's so cringy.
Flashlight.
So they're screaming for a flashlight. Out of all things, a flashlight. Because the flashlight will enhance the drama of the photos. And it draws the eye down towards the light.
Where's she hit?
Where's she hit? Yeah, it seems like no one really knows. And that's when she opens her mouth like she's spitting it out. You can see she has blood on her fingers. But when do we see her ever touch that area? And Data taps her left hand and she puts it down and like flicks something away, fixes something out of her hair. It's unclear if Data is contributing to the blood effects or if he's just a scene blocker. You can see SWAT 1 knees her right arm closer to her, and then she tucks it under her right butt cheek. So this is the medic. He identifies himself as the medic. Notice that wonderful earpiece he has on. And let's see the various ways he tries to save her. Medic puts his water bottle down. SWAT 1 just grazes her. Everybody's just grazing her. Parrot blocker getting up in there. And so medic pulls down the flag that's tied around her neck. And notice he only had one glove coming into the room, which is very interesting. Look, when he does this move, she opens her mouth briefly, or she says something. So he's only using one hand, and she just lets some of the blood out of her mouth. Thank God for capsules. And her eyes she's looking at things, where before she was just looking straight ahead. At the same time, you can see them just hanging out. And here comes the scene blocker cop. Now Ninja's either just making hand movements for the camera, or he's giving directions to SWAT 1. And SWAT 1 is just fumbling around with this little napkin, this little toilet in a baggie. Notice how Medic tucks this, what looks to be a cell phone, in between Data's knees. It appears Data takes the cell phone away with him. Did you see that? What is Parrot Blocker pulling from her hair? And here he puts it into his pocket. Parrot Blocker shouts to SWAT that he's a medic, yet does nothing. You can start to see this very small pool of blood, like the size of a cookie, right where Sam's hand was. That's when they all come out. We gotta get EMS here, guys. Now, notice Ninja just randomly puts his hands up. The cops have been next to him this whole time, and now he's putting his hands up. It's for the camera. Did you hear Jaden? Because he keeps repeating it over and over. He's saying the light faded from her eyes. They're all gaslighting because they know the audio is going to be recorded. So they're all kind of pointing and overacting and fumbling in their little corners. 3621, Taylor Hanson smiles. Look at Shades. And Fredo has no one to talk to. He's got nothing to do right now. And SWAT 1 and SWAT 2 are still fumbling with this stupid fucking bag. What is that, little gauze? Who's just tugging it along on the flag kerchief. Everybody's grabbing for her neck. What's that? That's Medic's hand. Do you hear the scrunch as he squeezes? And the Medic comes in. It almost looks like Medic hesitates, and then he comes in. Now we see this very small pool of blood. See how there's just a small passive blood stain? It leaves no trail or indication of a direction. There's no spine, satellite, or elongation tails. There's no cast off. There's no arterial spray or expirated spatter, which makes the use of a blood squib in her backpack and around her neck the most plausible explanation, which could be why during this whole ordeal they never untie the flag. She's gone, man. We're gonna see that cap. Black hat cap. He's still just looking for a pulse, but he just declared that she wasn't there. And now look, he clearly has blood on his fingers. And he turns his fingers around and looks at them. And he just wipes them on the flag. Look, he just wipes them on the flag. And he moves it out of the way. And that's when SWAT 1 comes in with his little towelette. Dab, dab, dab. Dab, 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 dab. Like this is fucking ASMR or some shit. At the same time, he snaps another photo. Ronnie's faking a call, looking at his hand. And there's Jaden. And Ninja just ninjas his way over to us. Scene blocker, cop blocks, Parrot blocker. Hey, what's going on? Who's that? Oh, he's got a radio. Maybe he'll call for help. No one's doing anything. Medic stands up. See, he's the medic with that sticker. And there's Adam Gray taking all the photos. And it appears the clock reads 2:47. Fredo still has nothing to do. Now look, it's frickin' Frat. They're still hanging out. Frick sees the camera and begins acting again. Yep, we're still rolling. What? Got blood on the floor. Yeah, not that much. Now that's Yellow saying that. Oh, Vetter, bless your heart. And now look at Rufio with his hand on top of his head like, oh, it's such a shame. Oh, Ronnie puts his hand around Red. There's the famous photo. Has anyone seen an iPhone? Nobody's doing anything. Everybody's just hanging out. Angry lady number 1, she's just there to scream at them. Now notice they're still taking photos of her in the background, yet no one has done anything. She's dead. She's dead. Hanson in the background. He's got his footage. This is, oh no, we'll see him later. Barani motions to medic, and now Fredo motions for Bike Cop 1. Look, more pointing, more big hand movements. Do you see any blood on Sam right now? He put gloves on, and he's got little paper towels or something. Maybe it's a script. They're still just getting all the pictures. Shades making his big hand movements. Oh, he's grabbing Barani, but notice Barani puts his hand on his back, or he grabs him, and he lets go. Big hand movements. It's jazz fingers. And there goes Adam Gray. What's up, bro? Who later gets fake arrested. And then Red is pushed out with Data. See, they've already made one, and look how uniform they are. Looks like they made it just in time, even though they don't go out that way. And there she goes, with her book bag and flag still wrapped around her. Luckily, they don't have that far to go, just right out that door. Is that normal? Is that normal protocol? You would think if it was as easy as for everybody else to get into the Capitol, it would be for paramedics. Now we see Sam on the other side of the door, and we see he's littered his latex gloves on the Capitol floor next to the blood. No one would ever do that, unless it was to add drama to the photos. So that's our pool of blood. That sad, pathetic pool of blood. This is classic. Oh, you just stepped in the crime scene. Guys, you can't make this stuff up. I think he does do it intentionally because it creates a transfer pattern from the heel of his boot. It adds drama to the photos. He intentionally does that. Is that a cop? Come on, guys. Is that a cop? Are these cops? And now they put the black ski cap over the blood. They've got the photos. And that's the guy who stepped in it, now changing his appearance. And those are the sad, pathetic droplets from one malfunction squib. Now, let's take a look at the aftermath. Oh no. So they're all just echoing the same thing over and over again. They're getting everybody to spread the word.
They just killed the girl! He shot a girl right in the goddamn stomach!
I thought it was supposed to be her neck.
He shouldn't care! He shot a girl in there! They shot a girl!
This is like the cringe hour.
They shot a girl!
But listen to what this lady says. That's amazing. Completely validates everything we're doing here. And notice coming down the stairs like a damn 80s movie, Thomas Barani, with his hand up, he's about to stop on the stairs and just start screaming. And then no one's gonna pay attention. Wow. And now he caught somebody's attention. Bro, why are you lying? Oh, don't you mean your hand fell back into her book bag? Man, this guy's such a creep.
Not talk anymore!
This is too much. God, this is so hard to look at. And here he is again.
They shot her in the neck, and she fell back on me and started saying she was fine. It's cool.
What? Guys, you know none of that happened.
And then she started kind of like moving weird.
Okay, that's true.
It could have been me, but she went in first. This could be you or your kids.
Jesus. And here they're whisking her away on a stretcher. Notice these highlighter badges on all of them. Maybe you can tell me what these are. And maybe.
Here's what I'm gonna say. Remember they were showing the black thing and during the middle of the video, he's showing the black thing that delivers the blood. Well, look right here at the elbow, right here on her. Right there's the black waistband thing they were talking about. So literally there's a photo of it.
Maybe you can tell me what this black waistband is. Ooh, looks like they did a touch-up. He totally has his hand on her boob. And you can see she's clearly still alive. And notice all of these fan shuttles in the background. Hey, look, it's SWAT 1. What was that about? Even Taylor Hanson got a spot on TV.
And the minute that she hopped up in that pain, she had no idea that he was even there.
No, she only had a 15-second warning. Bruh, from the first scream to her taking it to the neck. 15 seconds.
He shot her right in the neck.
Oh, now it's her neck. Hopefully Jaden will get it right.
Yeah, so basically all the protesters kind of stormed to get into the chamber.
And perhaps our last clip is most telling of all. Here's Jaden.
They killed the girl. They killed the girl. I did ask have it on camera. They shot her. I seen the shit on camera. They had. I guess we're all done. Yeah, so fuck it. I guess we're all done. Yeah, so fuck it. I got it all.
So what do you think, guys? Can you see what I see? Is this shit legit? Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm overlooking it. Please, if you see anything I'm not seeing, write it below. Please use your word choices carefully when commenting. Hey, thanks for coming down the Babbitt hole with me. Are we being duped? If you learned something, feel free to subscribe. That's why I'm here. It's not just for fun. You know, it takes a lot of work to edit these videos.
Thanks, Woo's News. I'm telling you guys right now, if you fell for the Babbitt thing, or are still falling for the Babbitt thing, you pretty much fell for the biggest psyop that's been played on the American people. They did it on J6. They're still calling out, trying to get Trump, trying to do this, trying to do that for a murder that didn't happen. You saw the belt. You saw the fake bullshit. You saw the choreography. I'll tell you right now, I have seen soap operas that were better made than that shit. Doug's right. It's all fucking bullshit. All right, I'm gonna say a prayer and I'm gonna let you guys be gone for the day. Give you something to think about. This is the show. This is the one you want to show all your friends who are talking that Jan 6 that nothing was happening. It was just a bunch of patriots went crazy, because that's not what it was. It was an orchestrated thing to make all the real patriots look bad so that they could come against them like terrorists. And guess what? It fucking worked flawlessly. That is until McCarthy held out to the 5th round, got held out, and they got what they wanted as they go further into the government now. So I think you're going to see a lot of things start to spin around. And I think this Jan 6 bull, it's going to be the one that goes, it's going to be your political nuke. All right, guys, with that said, I'm going to say a prayer and let you get calm for today. Yahweh, I ask that you watch over all these amazing people that take the time to spend it with me in the morning, and you bring their hearts and their minds together so we can all defeat the evil trying to take this land. I ask you to go with the soldiers into the tunnels doing the rescues, facing things none of us will ever know about or see, and you bring them home with their hearts, their minds, and their souls intact. I ask you to go with the farmers and the truckers that are driving around America and the world, for that matter. And you go with the patriots that just want to stand tall and have good lives and free lives for their family. And then would you please bless the babies as they hit the light, fill them with your light, heal them with your light so they can have normal lives and know they're good human beings when they leave those tunnels. And then finally, would you bless every molecule of water within our bodies, within the sound of my voice, within our glasses this morning? Would you make it the healing, awakening elixir of life you always meant it to be, and bring it back to its glory? We need living water, Lord. In your mighty name we pray this day and every day. Amen, amen, amen. I'm just going to say, I want to thank y'all for taking the time to spend it with me in the morning. Do me a favor, like, share, subscribe. Send everybody over to Patriot Man Cave on Telegram, Facebook, Rumble. We're live on Rumble now. We're live on YouTube. But YouTube, it's iffy. I'm on like Patriot 7, and I'm shocked they've allowed me to have 2 shows in a row on this damn channel. So we'll just keep it going as long as I can. But once again, you know, send everybody over to PMC 2.0, American Digital Soldier, National Patriot Party. And like I said, Patriot Man Cave and PMC 2.0 are all on Facebook. But if you want the juice, and that's what everybody wants, go to Telegram, join Patriot Man Cave on Telegram, and find all the stuff I've been dropping. I could not put everything on this show or yesterday's show for that matter. And so I get past some stuff that I just wasn't able to roll into the show. So you might do yourself good to go through there and look at some of the stuff that's been shared. I might have Donna with me tomorrow. I'm hoping I do. I just don't know. You know, she's day to day, but I just keep on doing my thing. So look out for one another. If you see something, send it. I'll try and get it on. Have a great day, Patriots. See you tomorrow.
I will not comply. Quit trying to take me to task, cause I don't want to wear a mask or take a vaccine that could maybe make me die. They got no scientific evidence to back that crap up. All they do is feed us lie after lie. That's why I will not comply. Now since back last March, I've had an achy, breaky heart like old Billy Ray Cyrus. I've been catching a case of the blues from the news around this damn coronavirus. Now they're telling us we gotta keep our our chin divers up, even if we got the shot in the arm. Nobody's talking about exercise or eating food that's fresh grown from the farm. That's why I will not comply. Quit trying to take me to task, cause I don't want to wear a mask or take a vaccine that could maybe make me die. They got no scientific evidence to back that crap up. All they do is feed us lie after lie. That's why I will not comply. Show 'em what non-compliance sounds like, boys. Oh, hell yeah. Now listen, y'all. The only way to stop the violence is for us to break the silence right now. So if you tend to agree and you're pissed off like me, stand your ass up and scream it out loud. Sing, I will not comply. Quit trying to take me to task, cause I don't want to wear a mask or take a vaccine that could maybe make me die. They got no scientific evidence to back that crap up. All they do is feed us lie after lie.